Everybody, get in here, get in here, get in here. Let me tell you this. There are 5 types of people that you absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, need to avoid, okay? You need to run from these people like the plague, all right? So I want you to get in here, get in here, get in here, all right? This video is going to be a little longer than the normal one, so I'm going to dig in and I'm going to go deep to talk to you about the 5 types of people that you absolutely and must avoid if you would like to have a successful life, if you want to build wealth, if you want to live at your full potential, if you want to live the way that you desire within your heart, then these 5 types of people cannot be in your life. And if they are in your life, then they need to have very limited access to you. So y'all get in here, get in here, get in here, all right? And as you're coming in here and as you're clicking like and clicking share, so I always say when you click like and when you click share, you're giving other people the opportunity to get the message. You hear me? Patricia, Stephanie, y'all, while y'all are doing that, I'm going to have my tasty pineapple here. Let me tell you, when I came home from the network, I stopped at Gelson's and I got me some pineapple, okay? It's so fresh, all right? Delilah, Kilby, Glessy, y'all get in here, Tammy. Y'all get in here and y'all click like and click share, all right? Because I'm going to talk to y'all today, okay? I'm going to talk to y'all about the 5 types of people that you absolutely must avoid, okay? Avoid them like the plague, honey. They ain't got no place in your life, all right? Let's go ahead and get started. Arnita, I see you there. Maggie Dean, Twyla Mahone, I see you there. Get in here, all right? Let's jump in. All right, baby, I got to cross my knee for this one, okay? Because I'm about to go in. All right, Michael Dixon, here's the first type of person that you must avoid, okay? All right, listen to what I say. It's the first type of person that you must avoid. Flaky people, okay? Flaky people make my skin itch. You hear what I'm saying when I say that? Ain't nothing like a flaky person, all right? A person who make plans with you, then in the last minute, they change the plans. Or the worst kind of flaky people is the people you make plans with. Get this here. You make plans with them, and then you don't hear from them, and then they ghost you, and the next day, oh, I'm sorry, my phone broke, and I couldn't follow up with you, da-da-da. Well, darling, you got Facebook, you got Instagram, you got everything else where you could have followed up, all right? Let me tell you this. Flaky people are people you need to avoid, okay? Because flaky people waste your time, okay? And time is money. Time is valuable, okay? Even if you wasn't going to do nothing else that night but sit at home and just watch TV, you could have done that in peace if the flaky person didn't try to make plans with you, all right? Flaky people is the people you don't want to deal with in love, you don't want to deal with them in life, and you certainly don't want to deal with them in business, all right? Shelby Farr distracted me. She said, hey, handsome. Hey, darling. All right? Hey, beautiful. But let me tell you this. You know, y'all flatter me, and I just get thrown off. I get verklempt, honey. I get verklempt. Anyway, with flaky people, you need to avoid them like the plague because they will waste your time. They will get your hopes up. And, you know, and I'll tell you this, you can recognize that someone is flaky once you pay attention, okay, to how they deal with things, okay? If they say something and you see that they flake with other people, then they're gonna be flake with you at some point in time, okay? Or maybe they've been flake with you in one area, well, they'll be flake with you in another area, okay? So what I'm telling you is that once you recognize that somebody is flaky, stop dealing with them, okay? Put them on the back burner. You know, in my phone, I was gonna grab my phone, but my phone's on the stand. I'm talking on my phone right now, talking to y'all, okay? But I was gonna tell you, in my phone, get this, okay? If you ever go through my phone, okay, in my phone, besides certain people's names, I have asterisks or I have DNA. Asterisks just mean, I don't know what they mean. It's just my way of saying flaky, don't answer. DNA means outright don't answer, okay? I got all kinds of little symbols, okay? I got one person who's in my phone where literally, you know the little sign in your phone that look like this? I got this in my phone because this person is flaky as I don't know what. I swear to God, you know, any plans he make, he ain't gonna keep. So I do it like this, just to remind myself, don't answer the phone when he calls. That's how I got it, just like this. That's how I save my phone. So you gotta do little things like that to help you to remember, okay? Here's the next type of person that you absolutely need to avoid. Keep clicking like and click share, right? Listen to me when I say this to you. Unsupportive people, okay? Let me tell you a little story, okay? Because I just came from the network, okay? And we had someone write in about what I described as a bridezilla, okay? She wasn't a bridezilla, but her friend is. Listen to this, Tammy. So listen. She writes in and she says that one of her closest friends, I think her best friend for that matter, is having a wedding, right? Now, the person who wrote in, let's call her Sarah. Sarah is going to be buying a house. Right? And she said she closes in 29 days. So, you know, when you're about to close on the house, you don't want to barely breathe because you don't want nothing to throw that off, right? It's hard enough to get a mortgage. So get this. She told the friend that she couldn't afford to, I believe, go to the bridal shower or some part of the whole bridal experience. You know, I've dealt with some bridezillas where they think just because they get married, the whole world got to revolve around them and everybody's supposed to be buying special outfits, spending all this extra money. It's like, girl, you the one getting married. You the one running your credit up. That don't mean I want to run my credit up. All right, say amen if you agree to that. But nonetheless, Miss Sarah said, she says, listen, I can't afford to do that part of the wedding experience, but I'm fully here and fully supportive of you. And guess what her friend, because she said, I'm fully in support of you, but I got to save my money because I got to buy a house. Guess what her friend told her? Her friend said, well, then forget you, honey. If you can't do that, how about this? Don't come to the bridal party. How about that? And then on top of that, don't come to the wedding. That's what the friend said to her. That's what Bridezilla said to her, right? And so she wrote into me saying, was she wrong? What should she do? And you know what I told her? I said, here's the reality right here. I said, when you're making choices that are good for you, when you're making choices that support you growing within your life, and you have someone in your life who's not willing to support you or who's outright resisting that growth, then that is a clear and indisputable sign that you have outgrown that person, okay? Because people always say, how do I know when I'm outgrowing somebody? When they stop supporting your growth, all right? And I'm going to tell you this right now. It is toxic to have unsupportive people around you because here's the thing. We are not made of titanium, which means that we can be affected by what people say and what people do to us. So, excuse me, I got that pineapple in my throat. If you keep unsupportive people around you, what ends up happening is it can taint you and have you second guessing yourself, wondering did you do something wrong. You ain't done nothing wrong. You're just making good decisions for you, honey. You're making the best decisions you can make for yourself. And I'm gonna tell you this, if you can't support me and being my best self, then you are not in my tribe, honey. And I'm gonna tell you this here right now, okay? All I have time for is people who can support me at being my best while I support them at being their best. If you can't support me at being my best, then honey, all right, love you to death. I'll miss you, okay? I might still send you Christmas cards every now and again, but one thing I won't be doing is including you within my life, okay? So that's the bottom line right there. Here's the next thing, okay? Here's the next group that you absolutely have to avoid. Now, this falls within the same group as flaky people, all right? But they are a step worse, all right? Outright liars, okay? When you know somebody is telling you a bold-faced, malicious lie, then you need to understand that should be, that's your walking papers. Their lies are your walking papers to tell you need to get out of their life, all right? So I tell you this, a liar is a dangerous person. You know, the way I grew up, my mom used to tell me, she say, if you lie, you cheat, you steal, if you steal, you kill, all right? Now I said, now that's extreme, but I get the point. You don't never know what lengths a liar will go to, okay? I don't care who it is. If somebody is a liar and you know them to be a liar, then be done with them, all right? You don't even got to call them out. Here's my way of dealing with somebody who's not telling me the truth, all right? As they're talking and they're just going on and on and on, because I got to interview people all the time. I deal with all kinds of people who come to my office. Hey, I want to talk to you about this fantastic business opportunity. Deal with people socially. You know, the more well-known you get, you got people just coming out the woodwork saying, oh, I want to meet with you and talk to you about this, talk to you about that. So I meet with people, and I know when somebody's lying to me. I have intuition and discernment like no other. We all have it strong, but I trust mine, okay? So I'm sitting there, and when I know somebody's lying to me, what I do is I just nod. I keep a straight face. I got a poker face like no other, okay? I will know you lying. I may not even be able to stand, I can't even stand you, but you're not going to see it on my face. I'll go, really? Oh, wow, really? Tell me more. That sounds exciting. And I said, well, you know what we're going to do? I would love to circle back with you around this. You know, I'm going to take some time and soak on it, and I'll circle back and we can kind of determine what, if any, next steps will be most appropriate for us. All right? Thanks so much. And then I scored him out, because here's what I won't do is I won't tangle with a liar. Okay? Because if you try to tangle with the liar, some liars are real good and they're real manipulative, right? So when you try to say, that don't sound good to me, then they jump in and try to explain themselves more, and then next thing you know, you get in your head in a whole tizzy, and they manipulating you, all right? So I've learned, don't even tangle with a liar. Once you know somebody's lying, just know that you're operating with somebody who's operating with a set of tools that's something that you don't even use those tools, all right? So don't even try to tangle with them. Once you recognize that they're lying, just kind of say, okay, all right, well, Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to speak with you. Okay, we'll connect later. And then be done with it, okay? And maybe that connect later is an email saying, I'm not interested in moving forward. But don't tangle with them and don't deal with them, okay? That's one of the groups you need to avoid, all right? Miranda Simon says, yes. Then MJ says, can I validate your parking? Y'all know how I do. I say, well, can I validate your parking? Miranda, what she's talking about is when I'm done meeting with somebody and I'm just done with them, I'm done. And if I see you wasting your time, my time, you're not spending money when you come into my office. I open the office to make money, for you to spend money, for me to make money, for you to make some money too. So if you're not doing that, I say, well, it's a pleasure to meet with you. And can I validate your parking on the way down? Because we are in the meeting, okay? Let me tell you this. I make no bones about it, okay? That's right, Miranda. Anywho, let me tell you this. Here's the fourth group that you need to avoid at all costs. And I always love when I see Carol Spencer Morgan on, who's logging in all the way from the down under. She's in Australia. Okay, I love Carol to death. Anywho, let me tell you, the other group that you need to avoid at all costs, and this is in life, love, and business, in every part of your life, okay? Let me tell you this. People who do not respect your boundaries, okay? Your boundaries need to be respected. I didn't say that people need to like your boundaries. I'm saying they need to respect your boundaries, okay? And if they don't understand your boundaries and they don't mesh well for them, then they need to part ways from you, okay? But at the end of the day, your boundaries are your boundaries and they're there for a reason, okay? And that your boundaries don't need to change until you decide to change your boundaries, okay? So let me tell you this. If somebody don't respect your boundary, when you say no, they can't take your no. Okay? When you say, I don't want to do that, they don't want to respect that. When you say this is important to me and they minimize that and they don't respect that, that is a clear sign that this person does not respect who you are. They do not value who you are. Okay? Let me tell you that. You can't value me if you can't respect my boundaries, because my boundaries are an indelible part of who I am, all right? And my boundaries are there because they make me feel safe. They help me to feel like I can glow, okay? So if you can't respect my boundaries, then how can we be in a relationship together? How can we interact with each other? We can't interact with each other on any level, okay? So if you got some folks around you where they can't respect your no, if you got some folks around you who can't understand who don't respect the way you do things, people who outright resist the boundaries that you have set for yourself, then what I need you to understand is what they are doing is they are showing you that they can't fit into your life. What they're doing is they are showing you that they have no place in your life. What they're doing is showing you that you need to part ways from them, okay? And what I always say is this, is before you part ways from somebody, if you feel like it's a good thing to do, then I encourage you to do this. Talk with them and say, this is how I'm experiencing you, okay? I'm experiencing that the boundaries I'm setting, I'm not feeling like you're respecting them. And I don't feel like you're respecting them because when you say or do this, all right? So if you want to give them the opportunities, I'm not saying just throw out every relationship, but I am saying this, once someone knows and it's been indicated to them that these are my boundaries, I need you to respect them, and I'm noticing that you've not been respecting them, and if they're not choosing to work in that area and adjust in that area, then you know what you need to do. Walk over to the door of your life and open it up for them and escort them out of it. Ask them if they want their park and validate on the way down, okay? But what they won't do is stay within your life, okay? I'm telling you this. Trust and believe this within your heart, mind, and your spirit. Understand this. Understand what I'm about to tell you, is that there are so many people out here who are waiting and ready for someone just like you, with all of your nuances, all of the special things about you, okay, that make you unique. There's someone out there who is perfectly compatible for you in business, in life, rather as clients, rather as loves, whatever it may be. There are people out there who are going to be comfortable with who you are and comfortable with the boundaries that you set for yourself. So by you holding on to a relationship or with somebody who's not respecting your boundaries, they don't even care about your boundaries. What you're doing is you are literally delaying your own ability to be able to connect with someone else who's actually going to be able to respect you. And let me tell you this, I believe that when you stay in relationships with people who don't respect your boundaries, what it is an act of self-abuse against yourself, okay? They're not the ones harming you. You're harming yourself because they have shown you who they are, and you have chosen to still stay in a relationship with them. And what I am telling you is this, is that you are responsible for protecting your peace, and you are responsible for protecting your heart. And when you continue to expose yourself to people who don't respect your boundaries, who don't respect your boundaries, and who disrespect you, literally what you are doing is you are indirectly communicating to yourself that your boundaries don't deserve to be respected, okay? And that is an act of abuse against yourself that I do not believe that anyone should have to tolerate, all right? You should never tolerate someone who does not respect your boundaries, okay? So that's the fourth thing. Here is the fifth thing that you absolutely should avoid, okay, when it comes to people. This is the type of person you absolutely do not want to deal with ever. Y'all hear me? Ever, okay? Abusive. people. You hear me when I'm saying this? Abusive people. I'm talking verbal abuse. All right? Calling out your name. Anything calling out your name, they're saying stuff to you that's just outright foul. Okay, I'm talking financial abuse. All right, so you're in a relationship with somebody and they abusing you with your money. They're manipulating you with money. Maybe you're in a relationship with somebody and they got all the money and they withhold it from you unless you do what they want you to do. All right, or maybe you the one who got all the money. This person say somebody's clicking like and share on that one. All right, and you got all the money. They say, well, I can't be with you if you don't spend money on this and spend money on me in this way. Or if you don't give them what they want, then they go off on you and make you feel bad. I'm talking financial abuse. All right. I'm definitely talking physical abuse. Nobody should be putting their hands on you ever, 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 ever. Let me tell you that. Let me tell you that. Abuse is something you should never, ever, ever tolerate, all right? I'm of the belief system. You know how I say you should talk to some people before you cut them out of your life? I'm of the belief that when it comes to abuse, it's no conversations to be had about that, okay? When you show me that you got some abuse up in you and you don't know how to handle me and you don't know how to treat me like the gift from God that I am, because each of y'all are the same thing, a gift from God. Let me tell you this. What I do is I part ways at that point in time, because what that person needs is they need time to work on their own trauma, their own stuff, all right? Because that's what abuse is. To me, abuse is unresolved trauma and unresolved pain that someone is now directing out at you. It ain't about you. It's about their own stuff, okay? That stuff they need to heal. That stuff they need to work through. And they can't work through and heal that stuff while you're still in their life. You know what I'm saying? You got to separate from them so they can get to the meat of why they are the way they are and why they treat people the way they treat them, all right? But rather they work through it or not, it ain't your problem, boo. What you got to do is move on with your life, okay? You should not deal with abuse, and especially when it comes to the workplace, all right? In a lot of cases, you'd be surprised. You got so many people who they don't deal with abuse in their relationships. They don't deal with abuse in any other part of their life, but when it comes to their jobs, they got bosses who are emotionally abusive and in some cases verbally abusive of them. I'm not saying go quit your job tomorrow, but what I am saying is it is not okay to allow someone to speak to you and treat you any old kind of way. At the end of the day, if this boss ain't willing to work on it, ain't willing to change it, you don't feel like you got no recourse, then you better go to Indeed or go to some website and start looking for your other job, all right? Like I always say, don't quit that job until you get a new job. Don't y'all run out here saying MJ told me to quit my job. I ain't tell you that. I said get your check, baby. Get your check, okay? Because I need you to get your check so you can keep on growing wealth. But what I am saying is you need to actively plan to find another job, all right? But in no part of your life should you allow yourself to be exposed to abuse on any level by anyone. I don't even care if they blood to you, all right? You do not deserve to be treated with any form of abuse or in any way that holds you back and holds you down and makes you feel any less than, all right? So let's recap the 5 types of people that you need to avoid, all right? First type, what I say? Flaky. Write that in here. Write that in here. Write that in here for me, all right? Flaky people. Flakey. I wasn't sure how to spell flaky prior to today, but I had to look at it. I said, how you spell flaky? I thought it was I-E at the end, but it's E-Y, okay? Who spells flaky every day? Anywho, the other type of people to avoid, unsupportive people. Unsupportive people, all right? The third type of people to avoid, liars, honey. Liars. I don't want no liar around me. The fourth type of people to avoid, people who don't respect your boundaries. You hear where I'm going with that? And the fifth and final type of person to avoid, listen to when I say this, okay? Abusive people, okay? Let me tell you this. I'll share this with you before I close out because I always like to share with you, even from my own testimony. You know, when I was young, I didn't know how to value myself, okay? This is before I had my business, but I had all these things going on in my life. I didn't know how to value myself at all. And I remember I was pretty young. I was in my early 20s, all right? And that was when I found myself in an abusive relationship. I did. I found myself in an abusive relationship. And I didn't think it was going to be abusive. I didn't think it was going to be abusive at all, all right? Who would sign up for a relationship with somebody if you think they're going to be abusive, okay? And I can tell you this. I remember what it felt like to be cussed out. I mean, just cussed out. And I said, well, that's okay. I don't like the way that feels, but that's not really abuse. But then the cussing out led to being pushed. The being pushed led to being hit and all these other things. I mean, it got bad. It got really, really bad. And I think that, you know, on some level, I knew it wasn't right. But I will tell you, the physical damage to my body in those periods of time, that was one thing that hurt a lot. But I'll tell you what the most toxic part of being in abuse is what it did to my self-esteem. This is why I'm so big on not allowing yourself to be abused, why I made that the fifth and final one. So I said, I want to make sure I have time to hone in on this one, okay? The reason why it is such a toxic thing to your future to allow yourself to endure any form of abuse in business relationships, in personal relationships, in any type, in family relationships, it doesn't matter, is because abuse literally gets into your self-esteem. It gets into your psyche, and it convinces you that that abuse is something that you deserve on some level. Okay, it convinces you that you may have done something wrong to deserve this. It tears you down and tears you apart. You cannot be your best self when you're allowing yourself to be exposed to that. All right, and so what I'm telling you, what I'm encouraging you of right now is, if you know you're in a situation, business, it doesn't matter, where you know you're not being properly valued, or you're just being outright abused, like I said, financially, emotionally, verbally, it doesn't matter what it is. What I want you to do is I want you to understand this right here, right now, that you are worthy of being treated in a way that reflects your full value, that reflects that you are worth every good thing, that reflects that you are a child of God, a daughter of the Creator, whatever you want to call yourself. Just know that you are something special, okay? And if someone is not willing to treat you in that way, I don't care how much they say they love you. I don't care how much they say they value you. I don't care how beautiful the flowers are, all right? Let me tell you this. It doesn't matter what all these other things that they can do. If they treat you with abuse and they cannot treat you consistently in a way that's reflective of what you truly deserve, what I need you to do is to value yourself enough to move on, or at least begin to make a plan for how you can move on with your life. And like I said, this isn't just about love. This is about business and otherwise, because that can show itself in any circumstance. It can show itself with bosses, with coworkers, or anything like that. You don't deserve to be treated in a way that holds your self-esteem down. So if this video, if you found that it was helpful to you, if it brought value to you, what I want you to do is do what Uniquely Janice just did. If she clicked on share, make sure you share this video with someone. There's someone who needs this. Thank you so much, Maggie Ding. Mwah, 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 mwah. I love you all to death. I love you all to death. Somebody just actually asked me, they said, MJ, can you answer some questions for us? I got a little bit of time, okay? I got a little time, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer the next couple questions that come in. So go ahead and write in some questions for me right here. I said I never take time to answer questions, but since someone did ask today, I'll do that. I will answer some questions today. I'll go ahead and answer some questions for you, all right? Preferably on the topic we just discussed, okay? I love you too, Amaris. Okay. Appreciate you too, Hong. All right. We got the questions in here, y'all. If I ain't got no questions, I ain't going to answer them. I'm going to get off. The person who asked, I can't see who asked me, and who asked me to answer the questions. I can't even see who asked me anymore. Oh, thank you so much, Melissa. Y'all just tell me how much you love me. Delilah Allison says she became an insurance agent because of me. But Jane says, what's your biggest passion in life? Okay, my biggest passion in life, y'all got the questions coming in. Slow down, okay? Y'all, so my biggest passion in life is honestly helping you all live your best life. I mean that, all right? All right. Somebody wrote in here, somebody said, oh, let me see. I gotta scroll up. Let me scroll up. All right, y'all. Let me scroll up. Miss Smith says, she says, what's the best way to start building my credit on a small budget? By buying my online course. I think the course closed out today. The course is actually over $500, but you can get it for $67, okay? At www.mjharriscreditclass.com. Write that in here so she can click it. www.mjharriscreditclass.com. All right, that's www.mjharriscreditclass.com. I love it. Carol said, how do you stay strong and what do you focus on once these folks are gone? How do I stay strong? I stay strong by surrounding myself with people who build me up, people who tell me how special I am, people who allow me to pour into them, because it's not enough just for them to pour into me, but allow me to pour into them, because that's the thing. I get filled up by pouring into other people as well. So that's how I stay strong. I don't allow myself to get exposed to nonsense. My friends will tell you, I'm quick to leave, okay? I'll come to a little event, a little party, a little gathering, right? And if I see it's nonsense in the room, I get up and walk out. I leave. If I'm in a circle of people and they're talking mess, I get up and leave. I don't allow myself to be exposed to nothing that's going to bring me down. All right. Shelby Farr says, do you know how much I love you? Darling, do you know how much I love you? You all allow me to live my dreams. You all allow me to pour into you. You all allow me to walk out my God-given gift, okay? I love you, okay? It's because of you that I can be who I am. And because of me being who I am, you are who you are. It's the gift that keeps on giving, all right? Naromi says, how do I stay away from family? Understand that family ain't about blood. Family is about people who are like-minded and people who can support you in your growth, all right? You can build new family through your friends, okay, honey? Don't feel like just because somebody a blood relative of yours that somehow or another you obligate to stick with them, all right? You can build a family. Let me tell you that. What do you do when someone you love becomes broken? All right? This is Tiffany. Well, I have to tell you this. What you have to understand is that you have the power to speak life into them. You really do. But at the end of the day, you can only speak into them but so much. They have to accept that within themselves. So I say be that voice of positive inspiration to them, but also set boundaries on how you try to heal their brokenness. Because sometimes we can break ourselves in the process of trying to hold someone else together. You know, some people are broken because they're not ready to be fixed just yet, all right? Some people really do enjoy being in their trauma. And so you have to be able to understand, is this person broken because of something that they're actually working to work through? Or is this someone just in a constant state of brokenness, all right? Because, you know, we got those friends who sometimes they call us with the problem every other day. And it's just like, Lord, are you really going through it, or do you just like living in trauma? Some people are addicted to dysfunction. Let's say that again, all right? Some people are addicted to dysfunction. So if this is someone who's broken but who wants to be fixed, then help them to find resources that can help them to get fixed, therapists and so on. But if someone's just in a constant state of brokenness, you will have to set some boundaries on yourself around what it means to try to help them, because we can't help everybody, all right? We have to help people who are ready for our help, all right? What do you do? Miranda Simon says, what do you do when you know someone is being nosy to position themselves to take advantage of, I'm assuming your kindness, I can't see it, to take advantage of you? You know, here's my thing, all right? My brother told me this. Right when I started to make a lot more money, he said, my brother is the person who cuts my hair when I'm in D.C. He said to me, he says, just be careful. He says, because a lot of people will ask you questions acting like they're curious about you, but they're just really being nosy to try to size you up, right? And I'm real friendly, you know, so you see me come down real friendly, all smiles and everything like that. I'm smiling, but I ain't stupid. Okay, I ain't never been stupid, okay, baby. And so he told me, he says, watch out. He says, you give off a presence that seems very nice and inviting, and you may attract some sharks and snakes. So here's what I do, is I'm very keen to pay attention when people are asking questions of me. And I always say this, you can ask me any question that you like, but I don't have to answer them, all right? So don't feel compelled to have to answer people's questions in any way, shape, or form. You can ask me whatever you want. I'm not going to answer them. I was literally out one time, and this woman came up to me, and she says to me, I have a question for you. I said, yeah. She says, how much money you got? On what planet do you believe that's an appropriate question to ask anybody? So I told her, I said, you know, I appreciate your willingness to ask such a bold question, but I'm going to have to decline to answer. And I changed the subject, you know. So that's why I say, don't answer, all right? It ain't their business, all right? Someone asked me, am I vegan, all right? Because you're always clear, focused, and energetic. Baby, I am not nobody's vegan. I should be, honey. You put a bowl of chitlins in front of me, and I'm going to tear them up, all right? But I'm working on trying to get more healthy and get myself together, all right? Let me tell you that. Cynthia Davis says, how do you deal with a toxic mother-in-law and keep my husband happy at the same time? Girl, let me tell you. Okay, so deal with a toxic mother-in-law. Okay, first of all, you married the husband. You didn't marry the mother, okay? So I think that you need to be able to have a clear conversation with your husband to let him know what are the grievances you're having with his mother and what boundaries you're going to need to have in place in order to feel healthy within that relationship, all right? At the end of the day, he's going to have to take an active hand in helping to support creating those boundaries for his mother. If you're just trying to create those boundaries on your own and not having his support, that's going to be really, really challenging. So I think that you have to focus on who your union is built with, and then you all build a plan together around how to give mother-in-law some appropriate boundaries, all right, and how to enforce them. If you are struggling achieving those boundaries or struggling in coming to terms with what needs to happen, then I really do recommend considering a marriage counselor. Just a next steps, okay? I really do recommend that, okay? All right, so I'm gonna take 3 more questions and I'm gonna be out. I'm gonna be out. All right. Sherry Town says, what do you do when you love someone but they don't love you back? You love yourself enough, Sherry, to let go. That's what you do when you love someone but they don't love you back. You love yourself enough to let go. Hear me when I say that, all right? You can't love somebody into loving you. You really can't. And although it hurts so much when our feelings are unrequited, when we pour into someone else with our heart, with our mind, and our spirit, and they don't give that same thing back to us, it hurts even more to continue to do it. So what I'm going to tell you is this: the pain of letting go It's much less than the pain of holding on to something that's not holding on to you. Darling, let it go and move on and trust that by letting it go, you are opening yourself up to someone who's going to be able to love you at the level that you can love them. All right, Sherry, I hope that helps you. All right, let's see here. 2 more to go. Let's see here. You right, baby. Melody Barr says, I'm a no drama person. I really am. All right. Smith Ashley, Arshana, I can't pronounce your second name, baby. But Miss Smith with a beautiful photo. The link is www.mjharriscreditclass.com. That's www.mjharriscreditclass.com. I'm going to say it again. And write it in here for me. Rebecca McClurkin Lyles, write that in here for me. www.mjharriscreditclass.com. That's my new credit course. Let's see here. Well, I won't take that as a question. Let's see here. Shania James says, how can I build a valuable image of myself? Oh, I love that one. Every single day, Shania, what I need you to do is I need you to get in front of that mirror and tell yourself 3 positive things about yourself. People say, why you got so many mirrors in your house? Are you vain? No, I'm not vain. I just like having opportunities to walk by the mirror and tell myself something positive about myself. I don't care if I'm going out onto my terrace to water my hydrangeas and I walk by the mirror and I say, you know what, darling, you're beautiful today. Or you know what, darling, you've come through so much. You know what, baby? Wow, you are certainly resilient. You know, I have to tell myself things constantly. And I think you should do the same thing. You build a positive self-image of yourself by actually building a positive self-image of yourself. Say things to yourself that affirm who you are, because let me tell you, your mind is always listening. So what you tell yourself about yourself is going to be what your mind believes, okay? Your mind is listening and believing what you tell them. Let's see here. This is from Samuel Richards. Samuel, that's how my family would call you. Samuel, okay? They don't say the you. All right. How do you deal with someone who's extremely moody? She's a great person, but the various moods are a distraction, negative, and unneeded. Well, I think that you should let her know how you're experiencing her, all right? Especially if this is someone who you're close to and that you love. Say, I'm experiencing you sometimes that, it's kind of hard to know where your mood's going to fall, and I don't really know how to react to you. So I'm just kind of putting it out there just to see, what can we do about that, all right? Put that out there. If she is having consistent trouble with regulating her moods, it could be something that could be best addressed with a therapist. Sometimes people are dealing with challenges where they would love to regulate their moods, but they just can't do it. And maybe, talking with someone around how to kind of process the things that may be impacting their ability to regulate their moods could be very helpful to them. But just what I want you to do, Samuel, is realize and understand and accept within your heart that even though no matter how she treats you, it's not about you. It's not about you. It's about her. Her moods are not your responsibility to fix, all right? But ultimately, if those moods begin to be such a barrier to you all being able to have a healthy, whole relationship, then you may have to challenge yourself to say, do you need to change the type of relationship you are in with that person, especially if this person doesn't choose to work on that or get help on how to work in that, all right? Let's see here. All right, I'm just looking for the next one. Ooh, Brandy, this is a good one. You said, do you take somebody back who walks out on you if they apologize? My first instinct was to say, hell no. That was my first instinct. But I feel like I should be more diplomatic about how I answer that one, okay? But you get my first instinct. No, I'm not in agreement with that. There's a level of trust that's broken when someone walks out on you, all right? Someone walks out on you, okay? I don't know the backstory. All I read was walk out. When they walk out on you, when they abandon you, there's a level of trust that's broken. In order to have a healthy relationship on any level, you've got to be able to have trust that this person is committed to you, and that even if that person ends up ultimately leaving the relationship, that there are conversations and that there are steps that are taken beforehand that prepares both parties for the fact that this thing is just not working out and we need to part ways. But when you say walk out on you, to me that sounds like abandonment, and I don't know that I personally will be able to rebuild trust in that person, that they're going to be there for me through the tough times, all right? Sometimes when people show us who they are, we got to believe them. And even if they do heal to the point where they don't do that no more, I don't think that it's worth taking a chance on them anymore. I think you kind of have to let that person be who they are and where they are so that you can move on to someone who is going to really be able to be committed to you. So I'm sorry if that did happen to you, Miss Brandy Jones, but I personally would not recommend it. Understand this, apologies don't change who someone is. An apology is simply a recognition by that person they did something that was wrong. Someone can apologize and can remain the same person. And I think that for something that big to walk out on you, all right, to walk out on you, to abandon you. Darling, I don't know that I would give them a second chance. I can love you, but I don't know that I need to give you the same space in my life that you had previously. I'm going to go to my last question. Thank you so much, Erica Boyle, for saying my Instagram posts are fire, baby. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I will take this one. Shania says, how do you rebuild after leaving an abusive relationship? Well, I'll tell you how I rebuilt after leaving an abusive relationship. I was young, for those of y'all who just tuned in, and I was in an abusive relationship. I mean, it was awful. It was awful. I remember it was just awful. I mean, just being hit and pushed. And I'm one time being put out on the side of the road, literally pushed out. We pulled the car over and pushed me out of the car. It was awful. It was awful. And I didn't know my value at that point in time. And I can tell you that the way that I had to heal after finally getting the courage to leave that relationship, it was my mother who told me to leave that relationship, and I thank God I listened to her. The way that I got the ability to rebuild after that relationship was I focused on what was it about myself that allowed myself to remain in that relationship. What was it going on with me? And what's going on with me? And I had to get to the root of saying, you got some self-value stuff you got to work on here, you know? And so I got into therapy, and I started doing the work to work through my own self-value stuff. Okay? Because if I spent my energy in the aftermath of that abusive relationship, vilifying him and making him out to be a bad person for what he did to me, sure, it certainly was bad what he did, I wouldn't have been able to heal, okay? If I would have focused on I'm a victim, I wouldn't have been able to heal, all right? What I had to do was accept, yes, I was victimized, but I also chose to remain in a situation after seeing how someone would treat me, all right? It's not like the first time the abuse happened, I walked out the door. That didn't happen, all right? I stayed in there thinking it would get better, hoping it would change, you know? And I had to check in with myself around the fact that it was my own sense of self-value, my own self-esteem that I had to work on. So the work that I recommend that anyone does after an abusive or toxic relationship of any kind is get to the root of what made you stay in that relationship in the first place. Accept responsibility for your part. Not to say you did anything to earn the abuse, because no one deserves it, but I'm saying your part in terms of staying in the relationship because you made a choice to stay there. And then do the work to work on that part of yourself. Make that your focus. Doing that work. Working on your self-esteem. Working on your sense of self-value. Working on your boundaries and how you enforce them. Do that work. If you need outside support, I'm a big believer in therapy. If you go to therapy, it ain't because you're crazy. You go to therapy because you want to expedite your growth, all right? So you're working with a professional who can help you to do that, all right? So that's my recommendation, all right? So I love each of you all to death. Thank you so much for your questions. Thank you. I wish I could answer all of them, but I'm just unable to. But thank you so much. I love each of y'all to death. Click like and click share so that other people can get this message, all right? Mwah, 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 mwah. Love y'all. Bye-bye.